At 77, I found myself sitting in my favorite armchair, holding a lab report that painted a disturbing picture of my cholesterol levels. I had always done what my doctor said: cut down on eggs, switch to low-fat everything, take my daily pill. Yet here I was, worried and confused because the numbers weren't improving. I felt a familiar knot of frustration in my chest, recalling the countless times I'd read about people in their 80s and even 90s who seemed to have perfect heart health without following these strict rules. That night, I decided enough was enough. I wanted to truly understand what was happening in my body, not just watch my numbers inch up and down on paper. Cholesterol after 75 is one of the most misunderstood health concerns for older adults. So many of us get stuck in the same routine. We either ignore the issue and hope for the best, or we follow outdated guidelines that might not even apply to people in our age bracket anymore. The consequences of inaction or misguided action can be serious. It's not just about heart attacks and strokes. When cholesterol isn't managed appropriately, it can contribute to a host of problems: fatigue, mental fog, reduced mobility, and a nagging fear that our bodies will suddenly fail us. It can feel like walking on a tightrope without a safety net, knowing that one misstep might lead to a serious health event. But there is hope. In the next few minutes, we'll delve into 6 revealing points about cholesterol after 75 that most doctors either overlook or fail to explain in depth. If you stick with me until the end, you'll discover how the way we think about cholesterol could be turned completely on its head, and why that's good news for you. Imagine waking up in the morning without that lingering worry in the back of your mind. Picture feeling confident enough to enjoy meals without constantly second-guessing every bite, and having deeper, more productive conversations with your physician. By the time we finish, you'll have a clearer path to a healthier, more fulfilling life, no matter your cholesterol numbers today. I've spent years talking with seniors well into their 80s and 90s who thrive with energy and resilience. I've listened to forward-thinking medical experts who question the one-size-fits-all approach that so many clinics still use. And I've seen real-life transformations that prove it's never too late to take control of your health. Before we jump into the heart of these points, I encourage you to subscribe and turn on notifications so you won't miss future videos. If you enjoy what you hear, type a 1 in the comments below. If something doesn't sit right, type a 0 and let me know. I value your input because it helps me create better, more relevant content for you. Let's get started on this journey together. You'll be amazed at what you can do to reshape your cholesterol story, even if every birthday candle reminds you that you're well past retirement. And I promise, there's a piece of information in our final point that hardly anyone talks about, yet it could make a tremendous difference in how you handle your cholesterol numbers for the rest of your life. Number 1, high cholesterol is not the biggest heart risk for seniors. It's the hidden factors nobody talks about. It sounds shocking, doesn't it? For decades, we've been told to fear cholesterol above all else. The common misconception is that cholesterol is the ultimate predictor of heart trouble, and that if your levels are high, disaster is just around the corner. But consider Margaret, who is now 79. She spent years obsessing over every test result. Each time her LDL came back higher than the textbook range, she panicked. She'd restrict her diet to bland salads and boiled chicken, hoping it would magically fix everything. Yet she kept experiencing bouts of fatigue and breathlessness. Here's what Margaret learned. Her energy levels and heart function weren't being held back by cholesterol alone. It was a combination of factors like inflammation, stiffened arteries, and stress that were doing the real damage. When she spoke to a more progressive-minded specialist, she discovered that cholesterol by itself tells only part of the story. In fact, research points to inflammation as a big culprit in heart issues, especially in older adults. So while your LDL and HDL numbers matter, the presence of chronic inflammation may be a bigger piece of the puzzle. What can you do about it? First, pay attention to your body's signals. Unusual swelling in your legs or feet, persistent aches and pains, and recurrent infections could hint at underlying inflammation. Next, consider anti-inflammatory habits such as gentle exercise, even a 15-minute walk around your neighborhood, an extra serving of antioxidant-rich vegetables, or adding something like turmeric to your diet if your doctor approves. The emotional benefit? Less anxiety around every test result. When you address the broader scope of what influences your heart health, you stop feeling captive to that single cholesterol figure. You begin to see a future where you can move freely, breathe easily, and enjoy your days without a constant sense of impending doom. Number 2, total cholesterol numbers can be misleading for those of us over 75. Here's why. Everyone assumes that if your total cholesterol is above a certain threshold, it's automatically a problem. But this idea lumps together all forms of cholesterol without considering their different roles in your body. Take Evelyn, 82, who was alarmed because her total cholesterol was up. She felt discouraged and afraid, picturing herself as a ticking time bomb for a heart attack. Yet her HDL, often called the good cholesterol, was unusually high, which can be protective. Her doctor, focused only on the total figure, told her to cut out many foods that she loved. A deeper look revealed that her ratio of LDL to HDL was actually quite balanced. Evelyn decided to see another healthcare professional who acknowledged that seniors can sometimes benefit from having slightly higher cholesterol to support hormone production and cell repair. This doesn't mean ignoring dangerously high LDL, of course, but it does mean paying closer attention to ratios and subtypes rather than relying solely on the grand total. If you're worried about your numbers, ask your doctor to break them down for you. Find out your LDL to HDL ratio and discuss whether advanced testing for particle size might be beneficial. A practical step is to keep a small notebook of your cholesterol numbers, including the breakdown, so you can spot trends over time rather than panicking about one off result. The emotional reward is confidence. When you understand how these numbers interrelate, you feel more in control, less fearful of that single figure on your lab report, and more hopeful about making targeted changes that matter. If you're still watching and finding these insights valuable, please comment 2 below so I know you're with me. And if you haven't subscribed yet, I recommend you do so and turn on the bell. Your engagement keeps this channel going and helps us continue sharing important information to empower your health journey. Number 3, medication isn't the only game in town. Lifestyle changes can sometimes have a bigger impact than a prescription. We often assume that the moment our cholesterol creeps up, the only solution is a stronger pill. But meet Harold, who is 78. For years, Harold was on a standard medication to manage his cholesterol. While it did help lower his LDL, he felt constantly drained. His legs cramped at night, robbing him of good sleep. He wondered if the medication was doing more harm than good. Now, I'm not suggesting anyone stop taking prescribed medication without a doctor's guidance. However, Harold decided to research lifestyle modifications alongside his treatment. He discovered that mild strength training, using resistance bands or even a couple of soup cans, helped increase his HDL and kept his muscles strong. He also added more fiber to his diet, particularly from beans and oats, which can help flush out excess cholesterol. Over time, under medical supervision, he found the lowest effective dosage that manages LDL without those harsh side effects. The surprising truth is that, for seniors, cholesterol-lowering medications sometimes need to be reevaluated. Your body changes over the years, and your medication strategy might need to change too. A practical step is to open a dialogue with your healthcare provider about your lifestyle routines, what you eat, how often you move, how you manage stress. You might be surprised to learn that walking 20 minutes a day or practicing relaxation techniques could offer benefits that rival medication adjustments. The emotional benefit? A sense of partnership with your medical team and ownership of your health. Rather than feeling forced to pop pills and hope for the best, you'll see that your daily choices can pave the way for a healthier future. Number 4, LDL isn't always bad, and HDL isn't always good. The type of cholesterol matters more than the label. This is where many seniors get lost because the general advice we've heard for years is that HDL is the hero and LDL is the villain. But let's consider Glenn, who is 80 years old. Glenn had sky-high HDL levels, and at first glance you'd think that was fantastic news. Yet his doctor discovered that Glenn had dysfunctional HDL particles, meaning his body wasn't using them effectively to clear out excess fats. He also had small, dense LDL particles that can be more harmful than larger, fluffier ones. The big insight here is that cholesterol isn't a one-dimensional story. It's about subtypes, particle sizes, and how well they function. Some seniors can have what looks like normal LDL on paper, but still have underlying risk factors if the LDL is made up of predominantly small, dense particles. Meanwhile, others might be above the usual range but have larger LDL particles that pose less of a threat. Knowing the difference might set you free from the endless worry over hitting an arbitrary number. Talk to your doctor about advanced lipid testing if you're concerned. Not all clinics offer it, but it can be worth asking. Meanwhile, adopt foods that may help improve your particle profile, like avocados, nuts, and omega-3 rich fish. The emotional payoff is liberation from the endless cycle of good versus bad. You realize that your body is more nuanced than a single label, and you gain hope in addressing the real issues rather than chasing one number on a chart. If you've made it this far, please comment 4 below to let me know you're still here and still learning. Your comments and feedback help shape the content I create to better serve you, so don't hesitate to share your thoughts. Number 5. Stress and inflammation often do more damage than elevated cholesterol levels, especially after 75. This might sound counterintuitive because we've been taught for decades that managing cholesterol is the top priority, yet chronic stress can spark a chain reaction in your body, leading to higher blood pressure, erratic blood sugar, and yes, changes in cholesterol metabolism. Consider Rose, who was 76. She had borderline high cholesterol, but it was her constant worry and inability to relax that really took a toll. She was dealing with caregiver stress for her husband and scarcely took any time for herself. Gradually, she developed elevated inflammatory markers, which coincided with a decline in her overall well-being. When Rose learned to manage stress, through simple breathwork exercises in the morning and calming music sessions at bedtime, she noticed a significant shift in her health. Her doctor even remarked how her inflammatory markers improved. Chronic inflammation, exacerbated by stress, can narrow your arteries, weaken your immune response, and alter how your body processes fats. If you reduce stress, you may also reduce some of the hidden damage that can lead to heart issues down the road. A practical step: carve out 5 to 10 minutes each day for deliberate relaxation. Whether it's deep breathing, gentle stretching, or listening to nature sounds, this small investment can make a large impact. Emotionally, the benefit is a sense of calm and a renewed appreciation for life. When you're not continuously battling stress, you're more likely to feel vibrant, energized, and ready to savor every moment. Number 6. Sometimes higher cholesterol might actually help seniors, and this is the secret most doctors don't emphasize. This is the point you've been waiting for, and it's going to flip your perspective. We've been told over and over to chase low cholesterol no matter what. But let's look at Doris, who is 85. Her total cholesterol hovered around 220, which is technically above the ideal range. Yet she feels fantastic. No heart problems, no blockages, no major complaints beyond the usual aches and pains of aging. Doris's doctor explained that some research indicates older adults with moderately higher cholesterol may live longer than those with very low levels, possibly because cholesterol plays a role in hormone production, cell repair, and even immune function. Does this mean you should ignore your doctor's advice? Not at all. Extremely high LDL can still be dangerous. But it does mean that if you're moderately above the perfect number and your overall health is good, forcing your cholesterol artificially low might not always be beneficial. Your goal is to stay active, nurture a balanced diet, and maintain strong heart function, rather than obsessing over hitting an exact numeric target. If you think your cholesterol might be in a safer range than you realized, request a more thorough evaluation. Ask about your full cardiac profile, from blood pressure to blood sugar to inflammatory markers. A practical step could be to add gentle resistance exercises that promote better blood flow and support healthy hormone levels. The emotional benefit is tremendous relief. You can reclaim the joys of a varied diet, worry less about your lab reports, and focus more on what truly keeps you vibrant: meaningful activities, social connections, and stress management. If you're still with me, comment 6 below. And of course, if you haven't subscribed, now is a great time to hit the button and turn on notifications. Sharing these discoveries with you is one of the greatest joys of my life, and your participation means the world to me. At this point, take a breath and reflect on everything we've covered. We started by challenging the traditional fear-driven view of cholesterol, pointing out that many factors, like inflammation, stress, and even the quality of your HDL or LDL, can matter more than the raw number. We moved on to understanding that medication is only one piece of the puzzle, that lifestyle changes can be powerful, and that sometimes having slightly higher cholesterol might actually benefit you as you age. The big takeaway is that you deserve a more nuanced, personalized approach to managing your heart health. Imagine waking up tomorrow with renewed confidence, no longer fixated on a single test result, but instead focused on how your body feels. Imagine having a discussion with your doctor where you say, "Let's talk about my ratios, my particle sizes, and my inflammation levels," instead of quietly accepting a one-size-fits-all plan. When you take this path, the potential benefits go beyond your arteries. You gain more energy for your hobbies, a brighter outlook for spending time with loved ones, and a sense of control over your future. You no longer live under the shadow of dread each time you step into the clinic. Which of these 6 points resonated most deeply with you? If you can pinpoint one step to apply in your life right now, you're already on the way to a healthier, more empowered you. Maybe it's deciding to take a gentle walk every evening before dinner to reduce stress and improve circulation. Perhaps it's asking your doctor for a more detailed breakdown of your cholesterol. Or maybe it's letting go of the guilt you feel when your total cholesterol reads a little higher than you've been taught is ideal. Picture yourself a month from now, noticing that your energy has improved, or your mood feels lighter, or your joints don't ache as much. That's the power of being proactive and informed. I'd love for you to share what you learned today in the comments below. Your experiences, questions, and insights could inspire someone else who's feeling overwhelmed or uncertain. Your voice matters here, and it helps build a community of supportive, well-informed seniors. If you found this video valuable, please like and subscribe and share it with friends or family members who might benefit. Each like and comment tells me what topics interest you most, so I can continue bringing you content that genuinely helps. Above all, remember that your future is not carved in stone just because of one cholesterol reading. No matter what your age, you possess the power to make changes, both big and small, that can radically improve your quality of life. It's never too late to become an active participant in your health journey. You've got this. Your body is capable of remarkable resilience, and your mind is strong enough to discover new ways of thriving. Thank you so much for spending your time with me today, and here's to many more years of vitality, curiosity, and well-being.